We now return to Let's Play Castlevania. The final level, Dracula's Castle. This is considerably easier than the last one, although it has some timing jumps that make it slightly annoying. It's not nearly as bad as having the whole level like that, but again, to come through the entire game to this point and be taken out by some cheap little thing could be aggravating. It's actually somewhat surprising that they would do things like that, because usually those were reserved for ports from arcade games, like Magic Sword. Because obviously the arcade games were designed to swallow up quarters. Here's one of the first easy-to-die areas in the level. The hitboxes on the spikes are a little too big. Or the hitbox on Christopher is too big, one of the two. It's very easy to die when it doesn't look like you should. Or where other games would give you a little bit of leniency in how close you could get to the spikes, this game does not. I'm not sure if those chandeliers can be destroyed like they can in most Castlevania games, just because I don't know if you can actually get up to them. You can't shoot while hanging on the rope, or use your whip rather, while hanging on the rope, but you can't use your fireball ability because of that. Which would be the only way you could really shoot at something like that hanging on the ceiling. Okay, now here's a very frustrating part. Luckily, the colors kind of show you which ones move. I'm not sure if they do that in the default color schemes, because I've changed the colors through the emulator. To something that the Super Game Boy might look like. This is a pretty straightforward haul there. Would have been a lot more difficult with those head things. Those are just some items to prep you with an extra life, because we're at the final boss. Dracula himself. All in all, it's a pretty easy fight. But most of the, all of the bosses in this game are actually fairly easy. And of course, he's got more than one form. Now this one is actually a bit more difficult than the last form. Just because of those wings, it's very easy to get clipped by one from bad timing. The bats are fairly easy to dodge, so long as you just stay at the edge of the screen. And that's it. And the very slow ending. Slowly crumbling to dust. And that's the game. Very short, pretty simplistic. The challenge of the game really is just getting it done in one sitting. If you were playing it on an actual Game Boy, of course. Having to memorize levels and get the timing correct when the programming isn't that great. So, yeah, it was an okay game. Not a great addition to Castlevania. In fact, I think that if you took away Castlevania and gave it a different name, like Slayer Adventure, people would have just said this was a crappy ripoff, but oh well. What? The end. See you next time.